Hi everyone, thank you for joining our webinar, Spot and Save, How to Identify and Protect Butterflies. So before we start, I would like to take note of a few things so everyone could have the best experience today. So some people reached out to ask if our webinar will have captions, and our answer is yes. So we have enabled Zoom's automated captions. So if you would like to have that feature, you can manually turn it on by clicking the captions option at the bottom of your screen and then check enable captions. Also, to reduce distractions for our speakers, all participants are muted at the moment, but we would love to hear your voice. So during our Q&A session at the end, you'll be able to raise hand on Zoom and speak or ask a question, and we promise we'll try to get to everyone. Okay, so now we'll get started. First, I'll introduce our speakers and organizations. Then we'll hand over introductions to you all. So my name is Cynthia and I'm your MC today. I'm a social media co-chair of ReWild Long Island, one of the organizations hosting this webinar. ReWild's mission is to fight the climate and biodiversity crises by promoting sustainable landscaping and growing native plants. ReWild organizes many webinars like this one on various environmental topics. So if you enjoyed this webinar, check out these upcoming events on fireflies and light pollution this month. If you would like to learn more about ReWild's events, you could check out rewildlongisland.org/events, which I'll put in the chat if you want to save the link. Okay, so onto our agenda for today. So our first speaker will be Ainna Abbasi, who is a student at the Mehran University of Engineering and Technology and a researcher and writer of Teen Animals, the Scientists. She is based in Pakistan and will present on butterfly identification, including the anatomy and life cycle of butterflies. Our second speaker is Valerie Chu, president of Teen Animals, the Scientists. She is based in Hong Kong and will present on how butterfly conservation connects to the UN Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs. Then I'll present the solutions to help vulnerable butterfly species and how you could get involved in my nonprofit Monarchs Matter to save vulnerable monarch butterflies. And lastly, we will have a Q&A session. Throughout the presentations, feel free to pop any questions into the chat to me, and Valerie and I will answer them. Ainna will be answering any questions today as this is her first webinar, but she's open to any questions after the webinar if you would like to message or email her. And lastly, if you would like to unmute to speak or ask a question during our Q&A session, raise your virtual hand on Zoom by clicking Reaction or React at the bottom of your Zoom screen and select Raise Hand. Then I will invite you to unmute and ask your question. So we won't do our Padlet activity today because Padlet has some issues currently, but we would like to thank our supporters, Serve Humanity Together, and Youth Elevate Society. Serve Humanity Together is a nonprofit, non-governmental organization that works for the cause of humanity and helps everyone in need. Youth Elevate Society is made for youth to provide a platform to groom and make a difference in society. Okay, so now I'll hand it over to Ainna.
Hello everyone, I'm so glad to see you all here today for our webinar. I'm sorry that I can't open my camera because it got some problem just now. So let me introduce myself first. My name is Ainna Abbasi and I'm currently a student at Mehran University of Engineering and Technology. I'm studying environmental engineering and management, and today I'm proudly presenting the Institute of Environmental Engineering and Management, the Office of Research, Innovation and Commercialization at MUET RIC, and also Teen Animal the Scientist. I have been working with teen animal scientists where I have researched the effects of climate change on mental health, and it is such an important issue. I also write with International Review in IRIS, International Review in STEM IRIS, where my article on monarch just got published. I'm also excited to share that I've recently been selected as a president at Venatoa International Alliance for Science. And actually, at Venatoa, we are helping the students to get a scholarship. So if you want to collaborate in Venatoa or want any kind of help, you can contact me. So in my topic, we are going to talk about anatomy and life cycle of butterflies, a little guide. Next slide. So, what is Lepidopterist? Do you know what is Lepidopterist? Actually, it's a quick term. Like Lepidopterists are people who love to study butterflies, and today we all are a little Lepidopterist. Next slide. Next, please. Yeah, so when people who study butterflies are called lepidopterists, so the butterflies themselves are called Lepidoptera. Lepis, they are a combination of two words from Latin. Lepis means scale and pteron means wings. Next slide. This is a magical metamorphosis of butterflies. First, the butterfly's life cycle begins with tiny egg, often laid on the underside of leaves. These eggs are carefully placed near the food sources so that the emerging caterpillar can eat them. Then we have the larva stage. Once the egg has a small caterpillar emerge, this is the growth stage of the butterfly life cycle. Caterpillars are voracious eaters, consuming leaves and other plant materials to gain nutrients they need to grow. As they eat, they shed their skin several times to accommodate their increasing size. And when the caterpillar has reached its full size, it enters the pupa stage. In pupa stage, they form a protective casing known as chrysalis or cocoon around itself. It's like this casing is inside this casing, a remarkable transformation takes place. The caterpillar's body undergoes a complete reorganization, and the adult butterfly begins to form. At the final stage, the adult butterfly emerges from the pupa. Its wings are initially wet and crumpled, but they quickly expand and dry. Once its wings are fully developed, butterflies get ready to fly and begin its adult life. The butterfly's life cycle is a marvel of nature. Can we get on the next slide, please? So these are some body parts of the butterflies, a little anatomy class, we can say. So first we have the wings. Butterflies are known for their vibrant and interactive wings. They have two pairs, forewings and hindwings. These wings are covered in tiny scales that gives them the color and pattern. Wings serve several purposes, including flight, attracting mates, and camouflage. Then we have the fees. We have another whole slide for the fees, so we'll talk about them later. Then we have the proboscis. The proboscis is a long tubular feeding organ that coils up beneath the butterfly's head, and when not in use, and it is used to suck nectar from the flower and other food sources. Then we have the compound eyes. Butterflies have large compound eyes made up of numerous tiny lenses. Actually, these eyes provides them a wide field of vision and helps butterflies to detect and movements and many colors. Then we have the pair of antennas on their head. These these and like their antennas, which helps them to smell and navigate. Antennas are segmented sensory organs that extends from head. They are crucial for butterfly survival. Antennas are used for detecting odor, sensing air currents, and helping the butterflies to navigate its environment. And butterflies, like all insects, got 6 legs, which helps them to walk. Can we get on the next slide, please? So here's the fun part, a little question. All insects have 6 legs, but what about caterpillars? Even the butterflies have 6 legs. Does anybody know? Well, technically caterpillars only have 6 true legs, but they also have what are called prolix, which helps them to cling to leaves and crawl around. Yeah, these are some prolix. Okay, so this is the part where we will talk about the feeds of butterflies. Actually, butterflies' feeds are used for testing. Yes, they test with their feeds. And when actually the caterpillars are really fussy about their food, and butterflies themselves don't really care about what flower they are sucking on. But adult mother butterfly has to locate a correct host plant by testing with their feeds so that the caterpillar when emerge from the egg, first they eat the egg shell, then they will voraciously devour the leaves of the host plant till they finally large enough to pupate. So we have next slide. Yeah, this is a little classification. We can say that the like all animals, the butterflies belongs to kingdom Animalia and phylum Arthropoda. Then we have Insecta class as butterflies are also insects, so they belong to class Insecta and Lepidoptera order. Does it rings a bell? Yes, we already studied about the Lepidoptera. Then we have six major families that we are soon going to learn about them in the next slide. And they got 700 genera and 18,500 species, identified species actually. So next slide. Yeah, these are the beautiful families of our butterflies. First is the Paradae family. Paradae family are also known as whites and yellows, and they are characterized by their simple, often white or yellow wings. Actually, they are also common in Pakistan, and one of the common type is common gull. Then we have Lasnidae family, in which the Lasnidae family is actually also called blues and hair strikes. They are renowned for its small, decent blue or purple butterflies. And one of the common example is small grass jewel. It's really beautiful, I think. And then we have the Rhodinidae family, and we can see that the metal marking, and they are also called the metal marks. They are characterized by the metal-looking marking on their wings, and one of the common example is Plum Judy. Then we have this beautiful Blake Christmas rose, and it belongs to Papilionode family, and actually they are also called swallowtails. As you can see, there is a small symbol of tail. That distinctive tail-like extension is like their marking. Then we have Indian skippers from Hesperidae family, and they are also called small skippers. And then we have Nemaphalidae family from, the example is Blake Raja. Can you go to the next slide? These are some tools that we can use to identify butterflies, and I want to give you as a task so you can go and explore these tools to use and identify butterflies in your area. Thank you so much for listening to me, and I will hand it over to Santhia to continue our webinar.
Thank you, Ainna. Next, we will have Valerie, who will talk about SDGs and their connection with butterfly conservation. So I'll hand it over to Valerie.
So hi everyone, am I audible now? So supposedly I am. I am Valerie from Hong Kong and I am currently 14. I'm a sustainability advocate and also a science lover, especially for medicine. So as the founder and president of Teen Animal Scientists, I've been holding some workshops and also leading different kinds of projects to promote sustainable development goals. And I'm also a big fan of butterflies because of their intricate patterns and also their unique impacts to the world in terms of investigating climate change. And meanwhile, I'm also a passionate debater. Next slide. So Teen Animals the Scientists is a youth-led organization that advocates sustainable development goals through science and dialogue. So currently we have reached over 15 countries, and some of our previous projects include Harmonious Healing, blend of animal, arts and music, which targeted the underprivileged children, where we basically educate them that arts, music, and animals can contribute to their health through different kind of games. And Science in What We Eat, which is a series of culinary science workshops that feature hands-on experiments, as well as Magical Powder for a more eco-friendly future, which features educating the underprivileged about upcycling coffee grounds. And we have also previously held some herbal medicine workshops and AI in healthcare workshops. And today, I'm going to share more about how butterflies actually connect with the Sustainable Development Goals. Next slide. Could you move to the, yeah, thank you. So here is our agenda. So I'm going to talk about the importance of conserving butterflies first. So actually, butterflies are important in different aspects. You could go to the next slide. And to begin, it is important to conserve butterflies because we should have equality among all living things. So, of course, it is impossible to exercise absolute equality. For example, some of us may have to consume meat for survival, and you might say it is not equal for the animals that we consume. However, we do need to try our very best for maintaining equality. So it's implied respect towards all creatures. So we should not intentionally harm them, especially through polluting the environment. And it is even more important to conserve butterflies because they actually contribute a lot to biodiversity. So this means that butterfly actually helps us a lot. So it is just not that ethical for us to harm them when they are doing really good, like really well. So we can say that butterflies conjure up images of sunshine, the warmth and color of flowering meadows, as well as summer gardens teeming with life. And they actually have contributed a lot to our mother nature and the biodiversity. Firstly, they are indicators of a healthy environment and healthy ecosystems, and help with pollination and natural pest control. Besides, they are an important element of the food chain. For example, they are prey for birds, bats, and other insects and animals, and also support a range of other predators and parasites, many of which are specific to individual species or groups of species. And besides, butterflies are important in terms of education and research. They have been told to be actually the indicators of the climate change. For example, some research actually show that the butterflies lose their pigments on their wings when climate change is getting more serious. So this means that we can study butterflies in order to know the situation of climate change in our community. And also, this can be something that can raise awareness of the importance of solving climate change. And we can also use butterflies to study the impact of habitat loss and fragmentation. Meanwhile, we often see butterflies as very beautiful creatures with fascinating life cycles, like Ainna has said, that are used in many countries to teach children about the natural world. So we do need butterflies because they are not that harmful, like especially when we ask the kids to like explore and study them, and it's really a useful tool in the sense of education. And the transformation from egg to caterpillar to butterflies is one of already the wonders of nature. And so this is why we do find butterflies very important in terms of the exploration of nature. And besides, butterflies can also have some economic values. Why? Because actually a lot of people come to different places to look for butterflies, and this can drive some eco tours, which can bring valuable income to many European countries and developing countries around the world. And seeing them could light up the days of some people and bring along benefits to their mental health, as some of them actually have more endorphins and dopamines when they see butterflies due to their beauty. And it can also encourage staying close to nature as the people get naturally enticed by their beauty. So this can allow us to become more connected with nature. Next slide. So after I have shared how butterflies actually contribute to our community, I would like to connect it with the UN SDGs. But firstly, what are the UN SDGs? So they were actually initiated by the United Nations in 2015 in order to address different kinds of problems we have in the aspects of the society, the economy, and the environment. Currently, we have 17 UN SDGs, and some of them are related to butterfly conservation, especially for climate action and life on land, because butterflies are one of the animals that live on land, and we do need to take some efforts to conserve them because they are part of our biodiversity, and like I've mentioned, they're really important to our world. If they go extinct, then there will be a chain effect such that the predators will also not be able to survive, and the flowers that rely on butterflies will not be able to reproduce. And besides, for exploring and getting close to butterflies, it can somehow help to promote good health and well-being, especially when butterflies can boost some people's mental health. As for reduce inequalities, through raising awareness of conserving butterflies, like through this webinar, I hope that you will care more about inequalities, because every animals actually and every creature actually contributes to the biodiversity and to the world. So there is no reason to discriminate any creatures. And also, respect is really important for sustainable development and a sustainable future, because we do need collective efforts in order to achieve the SDGs. And last but not least, quality education is important in the sense of butterfly conservation, since raising awareness is already education itself. Next slide. So I'm sure that you have heard of sustainable development goals, either through my sharing or through what you learn at school or what you see on social media. But have you actually been aware of the importance of sustainable development goals? So basically, they are a call to action to end poverty and inequality, protect the planet, and ensure that all people enjoy health, justice, and prosperity. But the problem again is that even though SDGs is very comprehensive, or even you can say it's perfect, a lot of the targets have not been on track. As for 2024, only 16% of them are on track, and the others are either off track or even stagnated or regressed, meaning that the situation is getting worse. Next slide. Thank you. Next slide. And before ending by sharing, I would like to share with you the butterfly effect. So the butterfly effect is initiated by someone because it is related to a butterfly that can flap its wings. And in the past, when they flap its wings in India, it actually caused a tornado in Iowa. So this means that despite a very small and seemingly trivial event, it can actually poses a lot of consequences and create a lot of impacts to our community. For example, a butterfly that flaps its wings is regarded as a very trivial event, but it could actually lead to a tornado in Iowa, which is a very devastating event and causes a lot of consequences, such as human and property loss, the damage of infrastructure, and the cut-off of our supply services. And this in turn also implies that tiny changes that we can do can have big consequences. So for example, if you start to dispose of less stress and cause less pollution today, you can actually help to conserve butterflies because are able to you are able to cause less damage to their habitats. And I'm sure that Cynthia will then be sharing with us about some small things that we can do in order to conserve butterflies. So before ending, I would like to point out two things. First, don't underestimate yourself because an individual effort is actually really important already in changing the world, be it through conserving the environment or raising awareness of the importance of sustainable development goals. And second, take action. So actually, taking action doesn't require a lot of time. It can be small acts that can lead to big changes. Thank you.
Thank you, Valerie. I love how Ainna went specific and went into what butterflies are, and then Valerie took that and related it to SDGs to let us see the bigger picture. So now I am going to present on the decline and protection of monarch butterflies, what you could do to help them thrive, and conservation projects that you could participate in. So for the butterfly decline, in the Western US, butterflies have declined by 67% in the last few decades, which indicates how butterflies are also doing around the world and biodiversity loss in general. And specifically monarch butterflies, which is the butterfly species that I'm specifically going to discuss, has declined by 95% in just the last 30 years. As you can see from this graph, monarch butterflies have declined from 18.19 hectares to 0.9 hectares this year. And that means that there are less monarch butterflies occupying overwintering sites in Mexico. So this has been an ongoing problem. And to zoom out, in general, wildlife populations have declined by 73% according to the WWF. So it just shows that biodiversity loss isn't just specific to butterflies, but all species in general. Okay, so this butterfly decline is obviously not natural. It's caused by human interference with the environment. And we can break it down into three problems that butterflies and biodiversity is facing. So first is habitat loss, which includes deforestation, urbanization, and pesticide use. In this photo, it's an aerial view of the Oyamo fir forests in Mexico, which are where the monarch colonies hibernate over the winter. And you can see that the trees are kind of orange in color because that's the monarch colony hibernating in the forest. And over here, you could see some deforestation happening as well. And the second is pesticides. Pesticides, although we use them to get rid of pests, they often harm all insects. Here in this photo, was an event, a mass mortality monarch butterfly event that occurred a few years ago because of mosquito spraying, which harm butterflies as well. So it just shows that pesticides are not specific to any insects most of the time. And then the third issue is climate change, which causes extreme weather and disrupts environmental cues for organisms. Specifically for monarch butterflies, you could see in this Monarch Watch map, monarch butterflies migrate from Canada and the US to Mexico during the spring and during the winter or autumn to um, hibernate in the Oyamo fir forest in Mexico during the winter, and then they breed in the US and Canada during the spring and summer. So monarch butterflies depend on environmental cues like temperature and rainfall, so it's important to consider climate change as an effect because it really impacts biodiversity and environmental cues for organisms. So the first solution I want to present is growing native plants. Native plants don't only support butterflies, but they also have many other benefits, including growing and supporting biodiversity as it provides food and shelter for many native insects and wildlife. Another plus is that native plants are low maintenance since they originate from the land that they're growing in. So that means the soil and climate conditions are fit for them to thrive naturally. Oh, sorry. And then the fourth advantage is that that native plants sequester carbon as well. That means that they absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere into their roots, leaves, and soil, which helps mitigate climate change. So one example of a native plant here in the US is milkweed. Milkweed is the exclusive host plant of monarch butterflies, which means that monarch butterflies only lay their eggs on milkweed, and monarch caterpillars only eat milkweed leaves. With that said, milkweed also supports many, many other organisms, like ladybugs, ants, and beetles, so it shows that native plants support all wildlife in general. And then the second solution I would like to discuss is participating in conservation research and volunteering. So here you could see the Monarch Watch tagging program, which is where citizen scientists could tag monarch butterflies, which helps scientists in Mexico conduct research to further understand the monarch butterfly migration. So each tag you could see has a unique letter and number code, which helps scientists document and track where the monarch butterflies are heading and where they're from and whether they're male or female and all kinds of migration information that allows them to conduct research and form better conservation plans. Here you could see one of my Monarchs Matter students in the summer program. She's tagging the monarch butterfly, and after we tag them, we release them into the wild and they will migrate to Mexico. The second community science project is Monarch Larva Monitoring Project. The Monarch Larva Monitoring Project, or MMP, helps scientists track milkweed and monarch populations. So over here you could see that this is a screenshot of the survey online where anyone could fill in their data from at least there's milkweed there. You could analyze the milkweed site and find the number of eggs, number of stars for the caterpillars, and number of pupae in adult butterflies. So scientists use this data to conduct research as well. And finally, it's always important to raise awareness and stay informed because the first step to really taking action is to understand environmental issues. So it's crucial to inform yourself and others to make sure you know what's going on in the world. And I highly suggest following Teen Animals That Scientists, Rewild, Long Island, and Monarchs Matter on Instagram as we all post environmental content, and it helps you stay up to date with solutions that you could participate in to help butterflies or the environment in general. And we also post educational videos as well. And now I would like to dive into Monarchs Matter, the nonprofit that I started this year. As the founder and president of Monarchs Matter, I hope to protect monarch butterflies, but also restore their habitat, which is also crucial to supporting other native species as well. So our mission isn't just protecting monarch butterflies, but also raising biodiversity and fighting the climate crisis in general as well. As before I mentioned, that native plants have multiple benefits to the environment, and they don't only help that one species that they're usually correlated with. And if you want to get involved in Monarchs Matter, feel free to contact me at monarchsmatter.net at gmail.com. You could start a new chapter from where you are, as long as you're in along the migration route of monarch butterflies, like Canada, US, or Mexico. You could help monarch butterflies. And then one of our programs is the Raise, Tag, and Release Summer Program, where we raise monarch butterflies from egg to butterfly, and then we tag them for the Monarch Watch tagging program that I mentioned before. And we also participate in MLMP for the milkweed and monarch data. And lastly, you can also reach out to us to learn how to create a native plant garden. If you're located in Long Island, in New York, Rewild Long Island has an amazing community gardens program where you could build your own monarch way station, and Monarchs Matter can help fund that. And yeah, here are the sources, and thank you for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to put that in the chat, or you could raise your hand and we will unmute you so you could ask your question.
Thanks so much for being in this webinar. And also, in order to get a certificate for participation, please refer to the message that I just sent in the chat. So basically you need to fill in the first Google form concerning your basic information, including your name and the contact information. And for the second link, it will be for the comments of the webinar. And it's very important because it can help us improve our future events. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Valerie.
And if you
Also,
have
a few people,
yeah, feel free to ask now.
yes, and a few people have asked if we can post the slides, and we will send the slides after the webinar in the WhatsApp group chat if you want to look back at it. And this webinar was also recorded, so we plan to post it on YouTube, and we will let you know when that is up by sending the YouTube link into the WhatsApp group.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, I see someone has their hand up.
喂，你好，
Hi, do you have a question?
是我有一个事，我可以说中文吗？
Yeah, if you prefer to speak in Chinese, then you can.
我叫肖慧，我的中文的名字是肖慧，我是梅兰大学的一个以前的工程师， 我毕业从梅兰大学在2014年的时候，我的专业是石油的。现在我工作在一个中国的公司，在一个项目地方这儿那边。但是我想问一问你们，在中国你们怎么照顾蝴蝶？我们这儿我们巴基斯坦，我小孩子的时候，从现在我还没看到我们的政府还是其他的人，就是他们照顾蝴蝶，也是我们小孩子时候很喜欢，所以他们太漂亮，我不知道他们怎么照顾蝴蝶。在中国你们怎么照顾？你可以告诉我吗？
Valerie, would you like to answer that question?
Sure. So I live in Hong Kong, and basically we do have some events that target like conserving butterflies, such as raising awareness. And besides, we also have a lot of like education at school that teaches us not to basically promote like teachers to basically conserve butterflies and adopt some more eco-friendly practices. But I'm not an expert in specifically some projects to kind of save the butterflies, though I'm familiar with some ways that we can, like some practices we can adopt in order to promote sustainability in general, and thereby conserving animals and butterflies.
好，那我明白了，谢谢你们，谢谢。
No problem, thank you. So I will go on to the next person who has their hand up, which is Murtaza. I'm going to unmute you.
Hello everyone. Thanks for participation about this topic, and I really thanks about the participants and host for this important topic about this. And I would like to share something. Basically, I'm a professional engineer, and I work in different sectors, or government sector and private sectors. So I will share something about this. I will share some noise pollution and some technology pollution. Firstly, I introduce technology pollution. It's mean 6G and 5G. You know that our introduced 6G and 5G system in almost China, Malaysia, and any progressive countries available. So these produce infrared rays that causes some harmful effect on butterflies. That's not included in your topic. I know you not understand this situation. So I would like to add this topic about this technology pollution also matter in this era. Secondly, noise pollution. Noise pollution is a matter because noise is a part of a pollution which is considering harmful effect of ecosystem. And these are the main impact on butterflies and other species also. I will also add some other species like sparrows, any birds, the birds that affect from 5G and 6G's rays that produces infrared rays. So this is my opinion. I would like to share. That's all from my side.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. I just want to mention that we have so many people of all different ages and from all over the world, so it's really inspiring to meet you all. We have registrants who are teenagers, college students, entomologists, and people with all kinds of professions. So we thank you for joining, as it really shows that everyone are the stakeholders of nature. And just to mention that there are also a lot of people joining from different countries. since we weren't able to do the introduction, I would like to give a shout out to all of the countries who are participating in our webinar. So we have people from Pakistan, China, the US, India, Bangladesh, South Korea, Malaysia, Nigeria, Finland, Uganda, just to name a few. So we really thank you for joining and showing up to participate in butterfly conservation.
And
So,
also, before ending, we would like to actually take a group photo. So if you would like to, feel free to turn on your camera now, and we will be doing a screenshot that will be sent to you through WhatsApp.
yeah, and I noticed that a couple of people still have questions, so we'll this is not the end of the webinar. I just wanted to mention how amazing you all are. But we could take the photo first and then we'll get to everyone else's questions.
Please stay in your position for a few seconds because we have quite a number of participants and it takes some time to take the photo. Sylvia, you could also help to take the photo on your side.
Oh yeah, of course. Valerie, should we move on now?
Yeah,
you
feel
think?
free. Feel free.
Okay. Thank you everyone for turning your camera on. So next person who has their hand up is Murtaza. So I'm going, oh, I think Murtaza, you were the one who just spoke, right? Okay, I'm going to lower your hand. Okay, so the next person is Abdu. Would you like to ask your question?
My question is related to biodiversity or diversity of the butterflies. So, what's the main point on what gases the butterflies are diverse?
Oh, I think it's a bit hard to hear you. Could you like maybe speak closer?
Yes, my question is relating on the diversity. On what basis flies are diversified? To Ainna Abbasi.
Sorry, I don't think I heard that. Did Valerie or Ainna, did you hear that or no?
I don't think I catch that either. So I think you should like send your question in the chat room.
Yeah, feel free to message me or Valerie your question. Okay, so next we have Bisma. Would you like to unmute?
Can you tell more explanation about spotting butterflies?
Sorry, what was that? What butterflies?
Can you tell more explanation about how to spot butterflies?
I think she's asking about
Can you
ways to spot, like to find the butterflies.
Oh,
spotting butterflies?
yes. Yeah, for spotting butterflies, Ainna, she mentioned the two tools to identify butterfly species. So I will share that presentation with you guys. But the two tools are Merlin Bird ID and iNaturalist. And specifically, if you're saying like how to find butterflies, I would say if you built, you have like a community garden or you built a garden with like wildflowers or native flowers that butterflies in your area prefer to feed on, then you'll definitely spot butterflies.
Yeah, I do agree. I think like you can go to your national parks as well. I'm sure that there will be some butterflies there. Because like there are actually a lot of species of butterflies and they do like to stay in places with a lot of plants and flowers.
Yeah, I agree with Valerie. National parks have a lot of native plants, so you'll definitely spot butterflies there. Thank you for your question. So next up is Iftikhar. I will unmute you. Sorry if I'm butchering your name.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we could hear you.
Assalamu alaikum. First of all, thanks to chance. So I would like to share my opinion. I am a student of entomology, 7th semester. So we study about different butterflies and also monarch butterfly. So my question about that. So how we protect about the larval stage, caterpillar stage of monarch and pesticides? Because our country, Pakistan, use a lot of pesticides in gardens and flowers. So how we control and how we manage the butterfly eggs?
Yeah, I understand that a lot of areas use pesticides. You could always make a difference if you have like your own garden. You could eliminate your pesticide use, but if it's pesticide use that you can't control, you could also reach out to your local representatives and reach out to them to just maybe ask about the pesticide use if it's a safe level and maybe encourage them to create policies to like lower pesticide use. Activism definitely helps if you're concerned about high levels of pesticide use in your area. But we could always start by eliminating pesticide use in our homes and gardens. So if you want to start there, then that might be a direction you want to go to.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for your question. Okay, next we have Wahid.
Hi, thank you so much for your nice presentation about the butterflies and their conservation. It is very essential. I want to add that I'm a professor in university, and one of my AmPhil scholar, master student, she carried the work on the butterflies of Sindh, particularly the diversity of butterflies. So as you mentioned, this monarch butterfly is declining in the US. So we have a lot of the population of this monarch butterfly in Pakistan, particularly in the rural areas of Sindh, because of the presence of the milkweed and other crops, flowering crops. And I would like to add one of the question which was asked by the Iftikhar, one of the participants, that there are so many insecticides used in the Pakistan for the crops. for controlling the pests only. So Aftakhar, there are certain insecticides which are specific to those pests. They will not decline the population of the beneficial insects like butterflies and bees and other beneficial insects, like although the coccinellid beetles. There are specific insecticides. So if you people are using in your area, because you are living in the KPK, which is the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province of the Pakistan. So if you are using those specific insects, use those specific insecticides which do not harm to these butterflies and also the beneficial or the pollinator insects. So we have you have given a nice presentation, like you have mentioned that what sort of the crops should be cultivated, which sort of the plants should be cultivated in our particular area in order to prevent them. This is a very nice process of conserving the decline of these beautiful creatures from the universe. I just wanted to thank you for having a nice, and I hope so we will join this more, and we will learn. Definitely, a scientist or anybody is always a learner. I myself, as a teacher, learn from a lot of my students, because when they come with the different ideas, the youngsters come with the different ideas, and we people get more interest in those things which are upcoming for the future of the entomology, or future of these beautiful creatures. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Wahi, for your insights. We are already at 10:01 a.m. Well, for me, so that's 3 p.m. GMT, which we plan to end our webinar. So I see a couple of you still have questions. If you still want to ask those questions, you could reach out to me, Valerie, or Ainna in the WhatsApp group. You have our numbers, so if you want to DM us, feel free to, and we'll try to answer your questions as soon as possible. So yeah, thank you so much for joining. Ainna and Valerie, do you have anything else to add?
Yeah, indeed, very thankful that a lot of you can actually attend this webinar. We hope that you have gained some knowledge about monarch butterflies and butterflies conservation. And yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us, and do also support us on social media, as we'll be sharing more about our future events. Like previously, we did get some messages about inviting us to hold webinars concerning other species, and we will definitely look into those invitations.
Yeah, of course. Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you. Have a great morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Ainna, do you have anything?
I just wanted to say thanks to everyone. Everyone showed so much interest, and they were all in contact with me, and I would like to keep them all in contact. So please be in contact with me, and if you have any collaboration, any idea for our next webinar, please contact with me, and we will make sure to do what you have planned or your idea to come into reality. Thank you so much again.
Thank you, Ainna. Thank you, everyone.